Recently, the budget was announced by our finance minister. Some taxpayers are happy with the slab changes. Others who deal in the share market or stock were not happy with the increased rate of capital gain. Some more important changes are there for the discussion. Hello everyone, I'm Saloni from Team Web3. In this video, I will discuss important direct tax changes. So stay tuned, and before starting this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel Viptil Electrosoft for regular compliance updates.
Budget highlights related to the direct taxes. Let's look at the budget highlights which has been announced by our government related to the direct taxes. As we know, on the July 23rd, our Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the Union Budget for the year 2024 to 25 in Parliament. And the changes announced in the budget will be applicable for the assessment year 2025 to 26 ending on March 31st, 2025. And there are many highlights to be mentioned, like a new tax regime will be more beneficial, more tax will be levied on the capital gain, pensioners will be having the benefit, increased remuneration for working partners in a partnership firm, and a lower tax rate has been introduced for the foreign company. So let's understand about each and every highlight one by one. So let's start with the new tax regime or the changes which has been defined in the new tax regime. So if we talk about the slab rate for the assessment year 2024 to 25, if a person is having the income up to 3 lakh, then they don't need to pay any taxes. And if they are having the income more than 3 lakh but up to 6 lakh, then they need to pay 5% tax. And if they are having the income more than 6 but up to 9, then they need to pay 10% tax. In case if they are having the income more than 9 but up to 12 lakh, then they need to pay 15% tax. And if they are having the income more than 12 lakh but up to 15 lakh, then they need to pay 20% tax. And in case if they are having the income more than 15 lakh, then they need to pay 30% tax. And if we talk about the slab rate as per the new tax regime or as per the budget 2020-24, then if a person is having the income up to 3 lakh, then they don't need to pay any taxes. If they are having the income more than 3 lakh but up to 7 lakh, then they need to pay 5% tax. And in case if they are having the income more than 7 lakh but up to 10 lakh, then they need to pay 10% tax. And if they are having the income more than 10 lakh but up to 12 lakh, then they need to pay 15% tax. If they are having the income more than 12 but up to 15, then they need to pay 20% tax. And if their income exceeds 15 lakh, then they need to pay 30% tax. So this is the tax slab rate as per the new tax regime or as per the budget announcement for the assessment year 2025 to 26. So let's look at the comparison of the new tax regime. Under the new tax regime of the section 115 BAC, the 5% and the 10% tax slab will apply to the income up to 7 lakh and 10 lakhs respectively, thereby reducing the tax up to 10%. So this will be the comparison. If the person is having the income from 6 to 7 lakh, then they need to pay 5% tax for the assessment year 2025 to 26 as compared to the assessment year 2024 to 25. And also a change will be there if they are having the income more than 9 lakh but up to 10 lakh, then they need to pay 10% tax on the income more than 9 lakh, and that will be applicable in the assessment year 2025 to 26. So this will be the comparison, and rest of the income taxability will remain the same. Moving forward, that is related to an increased limit of the standard deduction. As the limit for the standard deduction under the new tax regime has been increased from 50,000 to 75,000. as this standard deduction will be applicable only to the employees or the pensioners, and the standard deduction under the old tax regime will remain the same, that is 50,000. So if a taxpayer is going to opt for the old tax regime, then a 50,000 standard deduction will be allowed. Moving forward, related to the limit increased under section 57, that is related to deduction for the family pension. If we talk about the family pension is received by the legal heir of a deceased person who was receiving a pension, and it is taxable under the head from income from other sources in the income tax return. And as per the budget announcement, individuals paying tax under the new tax regime of the section 115 BAC will be eligible for a deduction under section 57 for the family, which has been increased to 25,000 from the previous, that is rupees 15,000. So the limit under the section 57 related to the family pension as a deduction has been increased to 25,000. Now let's look at the changes that has been done related to the capital gain. As per the budget announcement, there will be only two holding periods. First one will be 12 months and the other one will be 24 months to determine whether the capital gains are short term or long term. Previously, a 36-month period was applicable for the unit of debt oriented mutual funds or for the listed as well as unlisted mutual funds. So this is the change related to the holding period. Now let's look at the tax rate of the capital gain. So if we talk about the tax rate or the change in the tax rate on the capital gain, then if a short-term capital gain is there and the capital gain is related to the financial assets, then as per the budget 2024, assessee need to pay 20% tax. Previously, the assessee was required to pay 15% tax. And if the assessee is having a long-term capital gain and any type of capital asset they are having, then they need to pay 12.50% tax as per the budget 2020-24. Previously, they were paying the tax at the rate of 10% as a special rate. And the exemption limit has been increased if the shares are STT paid shares. Previous limit was 1 lakh, whereas the limit has been increased from 1 lakh to 1,50,000 as per the budget 2020-24. But no indexation for the LTCG except in case of the asset that was acquired before 1st April 2001 will be provided. So this is a change that has been announced related to the capital gain. Then is angel tax. Angel tax has been abolished, or this tax has been removed by the. If we talk about the angel tax, then the angel tax is levied on the capital raised through the issuance of shares by the unlisted companies from Indian investors if the share price of the issued shares exceeds the fair market value of the company, and the excess amount realized is considered as an income and is taxed accordingly. And according to the recent budget, the angel tax has been abolished by the government. Now let's look at the change related to the section 276B. Under the section 276B, even a single day delay in deposit of TDS can be punishable with rigorous imprisonment, which shall not be less than 3 months, but which may extend to 7 years and with fine as well. Exemption shall be given to the deductor if the payment of TDS in respect of a quarter has been made at a time on or before the due date of filing quarterly TDS statement. So there will be no prosecution under the section 276B as per the recent budget, and this will not be considered as a crime. Now let's look at the TDS revised rate. Let's start with the section 194D, which is related to TDS on insurance commission. The previous rate related to the TDS on insurance commission was 5%. After the budget, the TDS on insurance commission will be deducted at the rate of 2%. Then comes the section 194DA, which is related to TDS on payment of insurance maturity amount. The rate has been reduced to 2%. Earlier, the rate of the tax under the section 194DA was 5%. Similar rate will be applicable on the 194D, that is related to TDS on income earned from commission, remuneration or price on lottery ticket. Then is related to TDS on commission as per the section 194H. The rate related to the section 194H has been removed, or has been the rate related to the section 194H has been reduced to 2%, and also the rate related to the 194IB TDS on rent has been reduced to 2%, and also the rate under the section 194M has been reduced to 2%. So these are the TDS revised rate as per the budget announcement. Moving forward, that is related to equalization levy tax. The equalization levy is designed to ensure that multinational digital companies pay a fair share of taxes in the countries where they operate and to prevent double taxation. For example, if a non-resident e-commerce operator sells goods worth rupees 10 lakh to customers in India, a 2% equalization level of a 2% equalization levy of rupees 20,000 would be charged to the operator, and this will not be applicable from 1st August 2024. Then is related to the partner's remuneration. The present limit on allowable partner's remuneration is applicable with the effect from assessment year 2010 to 11. It is now proposed to amend the limit of remuneration to the working capital in a partner, which is allowed as a deduction. Earlier, the limit of remuneration to the working partner was 1,50,000, whereas the revised limit of remuneration to working partner is 3 lakh. On first rupees 6 lakh of the book profit, or in case of loss 3 lakh, or at the rate of 90% of the book profit, whichever is higher would be considered as a remuneration. On the balance of the book profit, 60% working remuneration will be calculated. Then the tax rate of the foreign companies has been reduced from 40% to 35%. And also a settlement mechanism for the disputed issues has been made, and this is related to direct tax Vivad se Vishwas scheme that has been introduced to offer a settlement mechanism for the disputed issues, that is aiming to reduce the litigation at a minimal cost. So this is all about the budget highlight that has been announced by our Honorable Finance Minister on July 23rd, that will be applicable from assessment year 2025 to 26.
I hope you have understood that the government has implemented the simplified tax system and introduced an easier mechanism for resolving disputes under the direct taxes. Additionally, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has announced a comprehensive review of the Income Tax Act 1961 with the aim of benefiting the middle class. The review is expected to be completed within 6 months. For better comprehension, check out the blog link in the video description box and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comment section. Also, you can comment if you have any doubts. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next Tuesday, we will come up with another interesting video to make compliances better for you. Till then, stay safe and stay tuned with us for a better compliance and enterprise journey.